What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Emeroy TV. If it's your first time hopping on, welcome. If you're a returner, appreciate to have you back. What you're about to watch is a video podcast with my new dance company called Temper Tantrum. We have everything in terms of the social platforms, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, all that. If you've been a follower of the channel for a while, you might have actually seen me perform with them on a couple shows. I figured it'd be a great opportunity for you guys to get to know them a little bit and also kind of give a little bit of exposure to the channel, since a lot of our social channels are just starting up. So as you guys see, I've been creating a lot of different types of content, and I've been sharing a lot of different types of content these past few weeks and months, from reaction videos. Make sure to check those out. Interviews, podcasts with my girlfriend, now podcast with my dance company. Eventually I'll get back to the tutorials once it's safe to film in dance studios, because I'm honestly not too comfortable like filming in here because my place is kind of a mess. Anyways, enjoy the video. Give Temper Tantrum some love. Give them a follow. Give all the members a follow and some love. Appreciate it. And yeah, enjoy the video. We gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got bills to pay.
Auditions don't pay bills.
Yeah, they don't. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of Throwing Tantrums with Temper Tantrum. So we are entertainment hip-hop dance company located in Los Angeles. And this is our first podcast. So hope you guys are having an amazing day, considering all the insane craziness that's happening right now. We're actually a bigger group, but I decided to only invite these guys because I like them. Everyone else is piece of shits. Just kidding. They got better things to do than talk and hang out with me. So my name is Emeroy. This is my fourth podcast that I'm starting this year. I'm an owner of a social media company, one of the founders of Temper Tantrum, B-Boy, Locker, and I've been dancing since I was 8, so I've been dancing for a long time. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Let's give the floor to a couple of these other people so you can get to know them. And occasionally, just to give you guys an idea of the format, is that, it's different members of Temper Tantrum will occasionally come in and out. Sometimes it'll be the same people coming in. Because the purpose of this podcast is that I want you guys, the audience, to know them beyond the dance, because when you see these amazing people on stage and doing these amazing things, that's all you see. But I want this to be an opportunity to share the depth of these dancers and kind of like our perspective as a dance company with what's happening with the world around us as well, so that we were not just performers and and that's all we do. Cool. So I'm going to pass the ball off to Brandeezy, our artistic director, phone sex operator, and
Woo! Yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Hey guys. Yes, I'm Brandon Burciaga, the artistic director for Temper Tantrum. Also, I'm a sexual health specialist. So I talk about sex every day for a living for the past 6 years. And I work for a nonprofit that works with LGBT people in Los Angeles. My styles mainly hip hop, whacking, jazz funk, a little locking, as Mr. Emeroy here is teaching me a little bit more. But yeah, I'm a little bit versatile for as far as styles go. And I also work professionally as a choreographer and dancer in the industry, and I have a manager now that I'm trying to act and model and stuff. So that's going really well. Well, it was going well before COVID, but we'll touch on that soon.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. All right, I'm gonna appreciate you, Brandon. Next up is Amanda, whose birthday it was this month.
Gemini. Thanks for that shout out. I'm intimidating, apparently.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I don't know if you remember me, but the first time I saw you was at Urban Street Jam when I was battling with my student, and I was like,
it was a while ago,
yeah,
right?
But that's when I first noticed you, because I was like, you're like because I remember the first few early people that signed up, and then you were one of them. And I was like, oh dang, she's like kind of scary.
Wait, that was the one at the convention, right?
At the convention
Urban
center.
Was doing it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, if you'll introduce yourself to the crowd.
I'm Amanda, Big Girl Amanda. Cool, fancy name, I know. I'm originally from New Mexico. I have moved quite a bit around. I was in Studio City, North Hollywood. Then I was in Long Beach, and now I'm in Orange County. I am in an all-female breaking crew called Via Queens back home in New Mexico. There's 12 of us in the crew. Not as active now. I'm the youngest one. I'm the baby. The rest of them all have like kids and like crazy careers. They're like teachers and nurses. But so they do the most that we can community-wise and like supporting and throwing fundraiser events and just keeping the B-girl scene alive there. I'm also help with my little brother, B-Boy Nightmare. He has
Sick.
his own like I wouldn't say nonprofit yet, but it's an organization called United in Hip Hop. And we throw jams, and it's basically built on mentorship. So the jams are like, there's a lot that goes on, but a quick view is like there'll be a mentor for the judges and then a kid judge. So the
That's
kid,
cool.
it'll be like an 8-year-old judge not judging themselves. They'll have a mentor helping them, and they kind of have a mentor through the whole process. They do a lot of other things, but that's kind of like what we pride ourselves on is that, and that's what makes us unique in the form of jams. Then I am in Temper Tantrum, and professionally I work at Starbucks. So right now I can't really say I'm an assistant manager because it hasn't happened yet, but I'm like my 3rd interview down. It's like a whole process. So
Oh, wow, they're vetting you. Yeah, I get it.
Get that position.
I'm selling my soul to the butt. Yeah. So yeah, professionally wise, I make coffee, drink coffee, sell coffee, live coffee. I wouldn't say I'm a professional dancer. I just love dancing because style is breaking, and so there's a jam, there's an event, there's a cypher where I find most of my love in. But I do love performing and getting paid to dance too.
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
Or touring and getting paid to dance.
Wait,
Exactly.
what was the name of that crew that you said?
Zia Queens.
How do you spell that?
It's ZIA and then Queens with the Z, I believe. Let me see if they have it on Instagram, because you can find it on Instagram. It's called Zia Queens Official on Instagram.
Are you planning on inviting them to teach grits?
No, I just want to check it out. No.
All right, next
Check
up is Diego, since you chimed in already.
Oh, fantastic. My name is Diego Tellez, no middle name. I don't think I really give myself a category as far as styles. I've kind of just been venturing everywhere. You know, I've been learning locking with Emeroy, crump, house, popping, hip hop, trying to get into breaking, but damn, like it's hard to move my big ass. But that's a little bit of the stuff. I'm part of Temper Tantrum. It's been great so far. And I also
That means he's gonna hate it eventually.
I'm director, founder of Grits and Gravy out in the San Fernando Valley. Just doing competitions, giving out free classes. Just kind of getting our foot in the door. And I'm a server. On my free time, I'm a server. Not on my free time. That's my main hustle. I'm a professional server. It is what it is.
Yeah, dude. I respect the hustle. Like, I mean, not to like downplay anyone who's going all in on just trying to focus on dance, but like, we gotta eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got bills to pay. Chris,
Auditions don't pay bills.
yeah, they don't. Oh, God. All right, Chris, you're up.
All right, what's up, guys? My name is Chris. Originally from Chicago, Illinois, and moved out to California about, 14 years ago now. Started dancing on and off since 2011. Currently now a part of a fan biz dance crew and Temper Tantrum. So shout out to y'all guys. And then, and then as far as like dance goes, I enjoy all styles for sure. But breaking was my starting point, and I've branched out to other styles as well. So dance is a huge part of my life, and I love learning a bunch of styles and getting to learn the culture of it all. And it's just something that brings me a lot of joy. And then I just like performing just because it gives people like a sense of happiness. And then for little kids to be like, whoa, what is that? Or like, how you do that? Like, I enjoy that, like every single performance I do. And then I guess professionally, I might have 2 jobs. So we'll see. I don't know yet. But,
okay. Respect.
Yeah, so talk about that hustle. But because of COVID, I haven't been doing a whole lot. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. So
yeah, I think one thing I originally envisioned our first podcast to be a little bit more like we're in the studio, but who knows when it's going to be officially safe to be in the same room again. And definitely just on a random thing. Did you guys see that thing with no masks on June 20th or something like that?
Dude, that was the most dumbest thing I've ever saw. That's high key America right there.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
It's
an actual event.
Oh my gosh. That's anyone who actually does that, dude, that's gonna spike up the
People are just
so high.
Yeah, it's a anti-COVID protest.
Which is so dumb.
But I thought all lives matter.
Shut up.
I thought all lives matter. Wait, why is there no mask? I'm confused.
Oh, damn. Brandon's going to come in with the heat for this podcast. Oh, we mentioned a couple times how COVID or Corona like has affected us in general. And I've had the opportunity to talk to a few people about it, but I'm really serious into like how it's affected you guys. I mean, I sent you guys an email of like why I went ghost for a while with Temper Tantrum to try to make sure that Vision Paradox survives is continuing to survive the recession, and just to make sure that family's taken care of, employees are paid, everything is taken care of. As for me, in terms of dancing, the only thing I've really been doing is like this one project with Amy and just practicing at home. All the gigs that we had planned out, we had that one meeting, we had that 1 year plan or the 6-month plan of all these gigs.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna film this, we're gonna train, done. So like
freaking like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and it's funny because like when a lot of us like January, February, I felt like there's a lot of hope going into. It's like, oh yeah, 2020 is like, come get it. And then now it's like, let's just fuck it for some.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, it's like just based off everything that's being revealed, it's showing light in the ugliness of what's in many areas, and it's revealing people's character at the same time. But anyways, we'll get into that in a bit. But like, how has Corona affected your dance life in a sense? Do you feel empty without it?
I'll go. I think I have like a reverse opinion than a lot of people. For me, with the schedule I have like, I think these last 2 years, I actually wasn't dancing as much as I had been before. And I've actually been dancing more since I've been stuck at home, which is really weird. Huh. But yeah, and breaking wise, like I always did a lot at open practices. And that was always like my thing. And I always had a hard time practicing by myself. Like I never felt motivated. I didn't get hype. I was like, oh, like I don't want to run drills. This is like, and so with this being stuck at home, I was like, man, I have to practice. It's been like 3 weeks. And it slowly made me comfortable practicing by myself at home. And I secretly love it. I'm a homebody. I don't like driving. I don't like going anywhere. So I'm living my life. I found like a yoga instructor that has been teaching stuff on Zoom, and it's been like the most beautiful community that I've formed with like people in Washington, and like literally every day we just hop on and like we do our little yoga thing.
That's cool.
And working out, and then dancing wise, and there's been so many classes that have popped up, and I've learned from like Why Not and stuff online, and I feel like I gained so much knowledge because I had time and I wasn't driving anywhere and I wasn't doing anything. Like I really feel refreshed. I mean, of course I miss that aspect. Like I'm a hugger and I miss seeing people and I miss that part. That part is definitely stripped. But like when it comes to knowledge and like training, I feel like I've gained more. And I don't have a large space, and my gym was closed, and I just move like my couch and stuff and I get it done. But I have enjoyed being able to stay home, because usually I get scrutinized for being like, oh, Amanda's a homebody, she's not coming around. And now I'm like, I'm thriving. I'm like, this is where it's at. So I feel like I have a different perspective, but I definitely feel for people that like don't have the space to like get down. And
I'm right there with you, because I prefer, like I tell people that my life was quarantine before quarantine, because I work from home anyways. And then like I just have in between, like there's a work schedule I do. Like I do 2 hours of work, 45 minutes of a break. So during my break is when I do my workouts or I do my training. So I love not saving gas, saving time from traffic, like
so much money.
Yeah, it's like I'm enjoying this kind of lifestyle in the sense where I don't have to travel as much. Albeit I do miss taking Jordan to like swim class. What about you guys?
I'll go, because I'm pretty much on the same boat as Amanda. Before quarantine happened, I was working like 5-6 days a week and 2 practices a week. And there was a bunch of classes that I wanted to take, but never had the time to take. Quarantine, my work shut down. I had just endless days to just fill up with everything. And after a while, I didn't realize how long quarantine was going to be. So I kind of just like, well, let me just chill. Let me just hang out. Let me just, relax, have some me time. And then it became 1 week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Into the summer.
Yeah. Like, all right. Doing such. So then I started dancing every day, and it was really dope because I didn't really have this much time or energy, considering work and all that stuff, to dance. And I was able to, just like Amanda said, I was able to take several classes of people that I never thought I'd be able to take. And I've been able to talk to people that I've never been able to talk to, because these classes are very small. And on Zoom, the names are right there. So instead of just being like, oh, you have a question, they'll be like, oh, Diego, and now they know you. And some people, Zeus I've been taking locking classes from, she's like, I feel like I know you guys now. I'm like, I know, like, I feel like I know you too. And all I've done is take locking classes.
Oh, dang. Oh, you've been taking from Zeus?
Yeah, I have.
She beast. When everything's safe, her locking sessions are sick.
What's crazy? I met her at Short Circuit's light feet class, and it was the same day that you invited me to that locking class. And then I was like, do you know Emeroy? She's like, oh shit, yeah, what's up?
She asked you, or you asked her?
No, I asked her. Her. Invited me. She invited everybody, and then that shit happened. Quarantine happened. I started taking classes from her, and now that I'm back at work 5-6 days a week, I can't take Zoom anymore. So
you're taking classes at work.
It sucks it's been pretty great. I've been able to really work on myself and get back in shape, do things that I like. And I mean, like Amanda, I do miss the connection. I miss people.
Yeah.
With people. I miss ciphers. I miss just interacting with people and just getting that energy. But as far as like staying home, like I'm a homebody, I can stay home and I'm chilling. I'll figure out what to do.
And like sorry, just to interrupt that, people, mentors, like Artson and all them always tell Brick, like, practice at home, and then when you go into a battle or a cipher, like, you have new stuff. I never understood that, because like I said, didn't know how to practice at home, and now I get it. Like, you're so productive when you're by yourself at home. Like, I never understood that. So
there's a practice method that I've been implementing lately. It's called the deck of pain. It's based off a prison workout.
What?
It's called the deck of pain. You need a deck of cards, and you assign. For me, it depends on how you want to approach it. Is it going to be a technique session, a style session? So it's like hearts are work on your on headstand variations. Clubs are handstand variations. Spades are, and then every time you get a card, that's how many times you do it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a prison workout. Or if you're gonna do a style training, which is what I did earlier. You can do hearts is house, spades is breaking, clubs is locking, diamonds is, and then whatever number comes up is the amount of 30-second rounds you do.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a fun class. That'd be like a fun class, like a fun training class.
Oh,
That sounds really good.
You said a deck of pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you,
No, I'm just kidding.
like I never get through the whole. I never get through the whole deck. I do what I can within 30 minutes. Because then
You said prison. I was like,
Oh, prison. Shut up, Brandon.
Who else but Brandon?
Are you Brandon? How's Rona been without the creative life and you're just working?
Well, I'm an essential worker. I work in healthcare, so I never stopped working.
You're just an essential human being.
Blessed and grateful for that, but it's definitely like everybody's just like I'm hearing all your stories, and it's just everybody sounds the same. Like whenever I talk to my other friends, they're like, oh my gosh, I've been working on myself, and like I've been doing this, and I'm like, that's cool. I go to work and like hope I don't get Rona every day, like
Fuck me, right?
it's like right, like okay, well fuck my life. But yeah, it's just something that at first it was kind of like creepy, because in the beginning it was like, oh, this is a very unsure thing. I mean, we all know nobody knew anything. It was like, there's a disease, you could get it from coughing, maybe. No, you can get it from sex sometimes, possibly. I don't know. And like everybody was unsure. And then I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Like, should we start? Like, how do we start limiting people? And then one by one, like, there was exposures happening in the clinic, and it was just like, hey, if you had contact with this person, then you're in quarantine. And then you would get the phone call from your manager saying, hey, you need to go in quarantine for 14 days. And it was kind of scary because it was like flies dropping. So like we started seeing people like, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh shit. so and so's gone. Did they have symptoms? They had symptoms. Shit, I talked to them yesterday, and then you were gone. And then like, so it was creepy. But once we got a hold of everything and kind of got an idea, and there was very few like positive results, it just kind of became regular, and now it's just regular. So
It's the
when it
new
comes to
normal.
dance, it's the new normal, yeah. But when it came to my dance stuff, it legit like killed me because I was on set on a music video when the state shut down. Like
Ooh.
the producer was just like, "Hey, did you guys hear?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And they're like, "The state is on lockdown." And I was like, "What do you mean lockdown?"
Did
And they're
someone say
like,
lock?
"Yeah, like no, stupid." They're like, "Yeah, like nobody can go outside and da 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 da." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So I was on set, and that was the last gig I did before Corona, and
Shit.
it sucked because at that time, like I said, I just got a manager, so I was getting a lot of auditions. I was having awesome little gigs here and there for dancing stuff and acting stuff, and I have a dance company that I'm creating called Foreplay, and
Oh yeah, I love this idea.
my my business partner and I were like, okay, let's have auditions soon. We started picking out a few potential dancers, and I was like, all right, let's start a day where we can just do these auditions. And my business plans went kind of down the drain. Um,
High five.
right, like, yay, business. Where did it go? No one knows. So it's been interesting, and I live on the third story, so I can't dance without neighbors being like, shut the fuck up. So I can't. I'm not dancing in my room, and after a long day of work, I'm just like tired. I'm just like, I don't.
Mm.
I'm older, so you guys have amazing young and fun energy, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I just want dinner and sleep so I can start it all over again tomorrow. So it's been interesting adjusting everything. I've been more like creative thinking because now I'm like, okay, what can I do once things open? What is the next thing I can do to get like business going for me? And I've been making like business conversations about like my company, and even like for Temper Tantrum, I was even sending Emeroy some stuff so we can promote us as a company, but without actually dancing like in person and whatnot. So it's just a really interesting, weird world. And I think honestly, we've gotten this far. It's gonna open up like sooner than we think because I honestly didn't think we'd be out of our houses until like September. So
I was
the
predicting
fact
to
that
next year.
I mean that too, but the fact that we're there's things opening here and there, and like it's very restricted and it's different than what we saw or than what we thought of, it's it's something. So I think in no time we'll be together.
Yeah.
We might have to cut a few dancers, what I'm saying, so we can keep it in the the social distance amount of group of people,
I
but
know it makes me wonder how many people they're gonna allow into studio spaces. We have
yeah.
like at least for us, I think we have good 15, 16. Like what if they limit it to
Well,
like 5?
guess we got to cut 3. Just kidding.
So yeah, Chris, you're up.
All right, cool. So pre-COVID, yeah, I just had a bunch of like dance projects with like FanBiz and then Temper Tantrum as well. And then Carnival was happening. And then once it was on lockdown, that basically like, man, like I didn't understand like, oh man, everything's happening like so fast. Like the year, well, actually, I take that back. The year wasn't like, didn't start off as good. But like dance-wise, everything started pretty good up until like COVID stuff happened and the state got locked down. Everyone was like, stay inside and all this. And I want to say the first 3 weeks for me, I think everyone had like the same type of idea and like can understand the same feeling where Zoom classes, IG live classes, and literally
Yeah.
everything online classes was like the
Yeah.
only source of like dance at that time. 3 weeks in, it was pretty good, but like the week after, it slowly started to just feel a little lackluster. And retouching what Amanda said, the whole like social aspect was like not there anymore, aside from like the comment section, which even in itself, the comment section is just a bunch of rambles of like every single little thing. So like literally anyone can type anything on there, and it's like, okay, I just want to learn a dance piece. I don't want to see like random emojis of things. But no, like the social aspect definitely what hit me hard because I met a lot of amazing people through dance from both where I live in Lancaster and then in LA and everywhere, literally everywhere I go to dance. So the social aspect of not being able to like hug someone or like high five or even like face to face like conversations. Like it just like took a toll on me at that point. So I just started to look at those online classes like a negative in a way for a minute, just because it's like, oh, I'm in my room, it's literally the same thing over and over again. So what's kind of the point at this point, right?
Yeah.
Bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored.
Exactly. But no, I took a different direction instead of like, you know, focusing on dancing like online classes, because mentally it was at the moment like giving me like a strain and like, you know, just putting me in like a weird mindset. I switched it to just like, I guess the term is homebody. So I'm a homebody person for like the past, I don't know, since quarantine started. I've been working out at home more often, so I enjoy that thoroughly. And I picked up reading books again just because, you know, I didn't know what else better to do, right? So I picked up on books and then just keeping up with like, especially BML and stuff like now currently, just keeping up on that topic. But we'll go into that later on. But yeah, I'm just doing whatever I can to keep myself motivated and just stay busy. So.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, like I mean, now is a good time to just go into it because a lot has happened since like I feel like this is a classic case of like one of my favorite quotes, like when man plans, God laughs. Like we had all these plans, but then like everything just bounced out. What happened to Chris?
I don't know.
Did your phone die, Chris?
No, it didn't die. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on.
Oh my god! I can't believe.
What happened?
Okay.
He got his
Okay,
time
sorry.
and then he said bye.
I know.
Okay, sorry. My mom just tried to call me, so sorry.
Oh, hang up on her.
And I've been getting random texts from people, so it's like I don't want to interrupt.
Put do not disturb, and then text everyone. Text your mom to f off. But
Wow.
Mom,
I'm in a Zoom meeting.
Tell me why I was about to grab my phone and actually do it, but I was like, wait, no,
but
no.
Anyways, so like, anyways, going back into the whole like, you know, like the life universe has kind of like took everyone's plans and fucking threw it down the toilet, but it did give room for things that needed to be addressed worldwide. So
yeah,
BLM being the big part, and you know,
I agree. This is what I say. I say because everybody was like 2020 vision, you guys, 2020 vision. Yeah, 2020 vision.
Yeah,
and it's like I think we had an idea of what 2020 vision was, and we are getting 2020 vision, but not the way we expected it to be.
It's a different type of clarity. Like we're getting
a different type of 2020, a different type of like, oh wow, like I see clearly now. And unfortunately, a lot of us are seeing our friends, our family, our lovers sometimes that are not what you thought they were, or not thinking the same way you thought they were either. And you're like, whoa, wait, I thought this the whole time. Like, you know, so again, it's one of those things where we're seeing clearly, and there's a lot. I mean, Lord, people go in on Facebook. They're just like,
it is.
My mom is blah 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 blah. My grandpa, my brother, my whatever. I'm just like, oh shit! Like, there's no filters anymore. Everybody's like, gloves off, let's go.
One of the things that I've always noticed, like I've kind of predicted, is the maturity or when a social platform gets older is when it gets political. So for a while, Facebook was semi-political and Instagram was fancy lifestyle. But now Instagram is a lot of political, which means it's just it's aged up and matured in that level. There's no like stupid fuck shit. They're still there, but it's not as much as like me anymore. You know what I mean?
It's not TikTok.
It's not TikTok. I'm iffy on it because it's like obviously there's a whole. I don't know if you guys heard. There's a whole China using your data with however they want, tracking you like with your keystrokes and everything. So it's like the way they track you is a lot more invasive than the other social platforms.
I'm just old in general. I never understood TikTok, so.
I mean, I'm glad you acknowledged that because people
post on TikTok, they post their stuff on Instagram too. So it was like, I'm both anyways.
Because the way I view it is like when we see like when we don't understand a social platform and it's different ways, that just means we're aged. We're like set in a certain way. Like our generation, for the most part, was used to Facebook and getting into Instagram, but TikTok is definitely for like the younger kids when they would do stupid shit. This is like for us, doing stupid shit was a status update or being a very racist tweet that will bite you in the ass 10 years later. Yeah, I mean everything that's happening, I'm bouncing off what Brandon said, you're seeing, I feel like a different layer of people. Another saying that I like is, you don't know a person until you've seen their worst. So you're seeing people like in a different light, because it's super easy to be like, oh, like I'm empowering, I do this, this, and this, but you don't know who they are, like when they show up to have their beliefs challenged, so to speak. I mean, how do you guys, your perspectives on everything that's happening?
I just feel like, touching based off like what everyone said so far, I just wanted to add that it's literally like exposing season, I want to call it, because like everyone out of the woodwork is like showing their true colors of like who they are, what their political or like what their stance is on literally everything that's going on right now. So it's literally like the season of like exposing like the fake from the real people, you know? It's just like, it's like every single minute I feel like I go on Facebook and like someone's exposing like, oh, this dude was like a local racist, or it's like I just hop on Instagram and there's like videos of like injustice, and like it's just literally the season of exposing. And it's funny because it's like these people are just like, I don't know, they're just like they think it's okay to say like all these racist stuff, and then it's like, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. But like now, literally, because social media is like so powerful, like especially because how people are using it now, like it's so powerful. Like the second like someone messes up and says something like extremely racist, like Twitter gets on them, like Instagram videos are on them, and like Facebook like lives are on them. Like every single second there's like someone being exposed, and I love it. I love it when like a racist gets taken down. It's just like the most beautiful thing in the world.
It is, and
I agree.
It's frustrating too, because history shows clearly which side wins.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot happening, especially what's. I mean, I don't know if this is the first episode. I don't want to bring it up right now, and it's kind of sensitive with what's happening with the dance community. But
That'll be the next one.
yeah, it's kind of, I'd say, intense, because it's like it's challenging. Because first it was like dealing with people debating about Corona's a hoax, you know, and then people like challenging, and then it for people who were observing, it's mentally, or in general, it becoming so mentally challenging. Because like for me, like I generally feel like I have a lot to say, but just observing everything, and even now with the tensions rising even more with BLM, it's like mentally and emotionally, it's like, what can I do from where I'm at? And it's kind of frustrating, because it's like, and like, because then it's because it's seeing the ignorance, but then also like for me, it's being hesitant to say the wrong thing, even though I want to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
With that, like what you just said, there's so much coming out, and I feel like you guys said with social media, there was a moment where there was a whole like, oh, your silence is choosing a side, especially when it comes to social media. But everything is so multifaceted and like intertwined with each other. And one of my best friends actually went on live and like brought up a really good point where she called out one of her friends because she noticed her friend wasn't like posting anything, but her friend came back and was like, hey, like, I'm an illegal immigrant. Like, I feel scared to post something online, you know? And she's like, and my family and my friends are coming at me and saying like, oh, I'm choosing a side because she's Mexican. And
wow,
like I support Black lives, you know, but I'm afraid I can't, you know? And so there's just like so much understanding, and it's so easy to go on social media where it's like you guys are saying it's good, we're like exposing, but it's like it's also we're judging and we're like jumping, and like we see something and we believe it. Yep. Like even with bringing this into like Starbucks, like I got so much people coming at me being like, let's block Starbucks, like let's void them. I'm like, are you joking? Like they've been nothing but supportive. Like one of the biggest corporations have been nothing but supportive, and they just clicked on clickbait, didn't do their research.
Too many headline readers.
And didn't do their research, and now they're boycotting a massive company that's actually supporting and like bringing up the movement.
Yeah.
And like, and just attacking those certain people that are like, oh, silences. And of course, you can always tell when someone is definitely silencing when they're still posting their little cute dance videos. You know, like you can silence and like stop promoting your events and stuff, but coming at somebody just for not posting, like definitely trying to look at someone's situation and like where they're coming from in all aspects all the time before like jumping and like, and just like open to having that conversation versus just cutting somebody off from your life because you're assuming, or dropping a business because you're assuming, but like really taking the time to do research. I mean, some people have limited time right now because of the virus, so It's really time to like get super educated in all aspects, in everything, even when it comes to like a friend.
Yeah, and like, just to elaborate on the word research, I feel like it's also empathy comes into mind because like we're yes
100%.
like yeah like because a lot of us see what we're saying, what people are saying, but immediately are focused on the judging and the saying instead of like trying to see where they're coming from about. And then I think that's what's creating a lot more of the division. It's like
Mhm.
because you're judging them based off their actions, but we're not trying to see where they're coming from about it.
It's really hard because for each thing that's happening, and I call this a pandemic, the racism is a pandemic in the United States.
Or
When COVID first hit, I changed mainly a lot of my Facebook to a resource page.
Mm.
So it went from like, yeah, I post my pictures for my modeling stuff, whatever, but I was just like, here's a food pantry. Here's how you can get money for this. Here's housing for the homeless during COVID. Here's like anything, any way possible. There was like a whole resource page somebody created an Excel sheet for, and they were updating it daily with new resources. And I was just like, here's all the facts. Here's what you can do to help yourself. And then same thing, when Black Lives Matter happened and all this is happening with George Floyd, now I'm like, okay, let's change gears now. Now, instead of having it as resources for like housing and things like that, it was like, here's fact. Like, you can say, well, George Floyd is da 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 da. Okay, if you think this is all because of George Floyd, then you're not listening.
yeah.
Like, you're missing the point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you think this is the only reason, then you very much so are missing the entire point. And let me show you. Here is a resource for this. Here's a resource for that. Like right now, my biggest thing, everybody goes, "Oh my God, look how stupid these Democrats look with the African stoles." Like, it's such a costume. Look at the fake. I'm like, did you actually know that the Black Caucus gifted those to them, and that's why they wore them on that day? The Black Caucus themselves said, "This is our, in solidarity, stand with us," and they gave it to
Yeah.
them.
Mm.
And everybody's just
Yeah.
like,
People were too quick to
well,
judge.
and I'm like, exactly. But I'm like, but again, now I'm changing it. Now I'm changing gears, and I'm like, resources, get the facts. Like, look a little bit deeper into this. Like, did they really make that stupid of a move? I doubt it. And then I looked into it, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, it was a gift. If somebody gave me a gift and said, hey, stand me in solidarity, I just go, oh, you know what?
But
It's just is not
Yeah.
my color.
Right.
Like,
but I
Yeah.
almost feel like the word research it can be a two-edged sword because you're right, do your research, but then what about these people who are saying it was a pandemic and they did their own research?
Yeah.
See what I
That
mean?
well,
gets
that's the
crazy
thing
after
too.
that.
But again, that's a way to do research and have a discussion. Like if you say, I think this is a pandemic, and here's why. Okay, show me why. That's cool. I want to know too. Shit, maybe I'm lost. You tell me.
Mm.
But
Mm,
like, just having this whole like like type of thing, it's just kind of like, because
yeah.
everybody's saying like, oh, especially with I can't stand Candace Owens. So like Candace Owens, they're like, she's making really good points and she's really smart and da 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 da. And I'm like, do you know the other thing she said this about George Floyd? Sure, but are you aware of the other things that she said? Are you aware that she's calling black babies animals? Are you aware that she's like so many things in the past? Like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like, let's get real 2020 on you, and like, let's get the real shit out. And it's just been, I think it's our duty, and I would have to give my hat off and props to the younger generation, because there are so many young advocates who are just like out
Yes,
there,
yes.
who
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
like hella protesting, who are like, just going every day as much as possible and doing whatever. So I give props to them. But I also use my page too, and I put a little post on. There's a whole list, and I think it's been going around too. People are copying pasting it from other people on ways to show your support. It doesn't have to always be protests. We don't always, we can't be protesting all the time. When it comes to the pandemic, there's still a pandemic happening. So if you have elderly people that you live with or care for or work with or anything like that, like I work with HIV positive patients. I have patients who have multiple disorders, multiple morbidities. I can't just go protesting every day, but I donate to like organizations that help out with things. I educate people. I educate people on my family and my friends. I put resources out. So there's other ways that you can support, that it's not just like, grassroots. Like you have to be out there in the front lines, or you got to get tear gas in your eyes, or you're not for the cause.
The movement.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is interesting because like remember Brandon when we did that one talk or with Powered California, when we were getting ready for that video, and the one thing that they shared a lot, just to give context with other people, we were getting ready for this one video shoot. We met with a nonprofit organization called Powered California. They gave us a quick history lesson of like why voting was important, and all the protests that happened. And they said the common factor of all protests was that they were all the young people that always showed up. They're the ones that wanted to change. So when I see like Generation Z or Zoomers is getting out there, getting shot with like rubber bullets and fucking still showing up, I'm like, damn, next generation's fucking badass. They make some cringy TikTok videos, but they're still badass as fuck. Like respect to them, dude.
Everyone got flaws.
Everyone's got flaws. I mean,
everyone has flaws.
We destroyed the diamond industry, and we get shit for liking avocado toast.
That's true.
And then, speaking, since we're like talking about like BLM, everything, there was the whole change. I guess one of the things that happened with dance is like they're trying to removing the term urban choreography as of how it's a more of a derogatory term, and I completely agree. And I saw like a video that came out recently, just calling it so and so's class. I think it was what was his name?
Wasn't it Ian?
Eastwood? Yes.
Yeah. It was Ian Eastwood.
His video was like on point. Like it's, that way, it's not like because it you know what I mean? Like it's not just like because even with urban choreography, it felt like so.
But it's like, what does urban even mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't even put a definition to that. Like I always would ask people like, what was the definition before? Like what does that even mean?
Yeah,
like I don't want to go learn urban. Like if I was, I don't know, say some white kid trying to go learn hip hop, like. If I was gonna learn hip hop, I'd be like, I want to learn hip hop. What's urban? Like,
when I was in Culture Shock, when they used to have 4 crews in Culture Shock. They used to have a breaking crew, a locking crew, a popping crew, and they also had the commercial choreography crew. That's what it was called back. So because it was choreography that you would see on the commercials.
That's what you're doing,
yeah. So I liked that. I thought that label sounded really cheesy, but it made sense when you heard it. But yeah,
what's not cheesy if you own what you're doing? Like,
yeah. Well, I was in the locking crew,
doing,
so
Yeah.
Street styles.
Street.
But
you know how I like it, straight street.
Oh God. So, what about you, Diego? Have you been participating in any of the protests? Because if you haven't, you're not, legit. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, I tried going out as much as possible, but before all these Instagram pages came out that like advertised when and where these things were gonna happen, it was kind of like an old school, real low key club where they would just post the day of, and you had to know about it. So majority of the time, people would send me are you gonna go to this? I'm like, it's 2:00. This thing's already over, or I just couldn't make it because of work. But luckily, I was able to go to Listen LA last Saturday.
Oh yeah, sick. How's that?
Oh no, it was amazing. It was dope. There was a lot of cool people there that were talking. And I'm not a very big word person. When people hear slow songs, they'll be like, "Oh my God, the song! Oh, the lyrics!" And I'm like, I don't hear it. I'm not
Emotions. What is this shit?
Emotions. What? I'm not real big on that. But what the people were saying, what everybody was saying, it was just like it just hit. It was amazing, and we were just dancing, and we were saying what we wanted to say with our moves, and it was a hell of a vibe. It was amazing. I don't know. Sometimes I don't even want to call it a protest. Because it didn't really, we were fighting for something and we were trying to get a message out, but it just didn't really feel. Because when you think protest, you think marching around, you think signs, you think, no justice, no peace, police trying
ceremony.
to stop. It was just people saying what they had to say, getting words out, doing what they had to do, and it was great. A good amount of people showed up. Big shout out to the people that created it: Crystal, Jay, Jared, Liz. If you guys haven't, little plug, Listen LA, go check it out.
Also, I have to say, like, again, going back to the new gen, what does protest mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like you have to have a sign in your hand and you have to, like, there's other ways to protest things and to do it in a way that's effective. And also, it gives new meaning and new inspiration and empowerment to people when the boomers are like, look at these damn hooligans running around, like, and you're like, actually, we're just dancing, and like, this is how we're doing, so it kind of gives a different perspective
Wait.
on like, you don't have to just be whatever you think we are. Like, we can do it the way that we want to, that fits the way we want to express.
Weren't the boomers also the hippies at one point?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
How
Different.
it's like the Dark Knight right now. Either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Was it twist?
It's crazy. Because the way I'm thinking about it right now is like, when we're older, the next generation Alpha, they hate us. It's Generation Alpha.
Well, it's funny
Cool
because
name.
I'm still calling out. I mean, like I said, I'm in call out mode. I'm calling out people when it first started and all the riots were happening. I was just like, and especially LGBT people, when they're like, these cis homosexual gay men that are like, look at how stupid they look causing a riot. Da, da, da. I'm like, yo, you legit would have no rights if it wasn't for a black trans woman rioting for you. If it wasn't for Harvey Milk shit, somebody threw a brick and it started everything to give you the rights. So before we even touch into that too, and people are like, Black Lives Matter, but like not trans women, and I'm just like, you can't choose. You can't be like, all lives matter, well, except for that one, and maybe that one, and then Black Lives Matter, but like not the gay ones and like the LGBT ones, because those are kind of weird. Like, no, then you're just as bad as everybody that was making fun of you too for being brown or people of color or whatever. Like, no, call it out. Like, just call it out. So I've been calling everybody out. Like, you understand that you are here today because our people started to riot. Like, everything started a riot. Like, that's how things started. And if you're not understanding why they're rioting, and there's a difference, and there's another thing too, education. Sorry, I'm getting agitated.
Let's
There's
go.
a difference between
Let's go, man. I'm loving the passion.
Let's go,
there's a difference between
man.
protesters, rioters, and looters. Those are three very different types of people. And people were lumping them together, saying like, oh, look at all of them. And it's like, no. There's protesters, which you see people holding signs, standing together, dancing, sure, whatever it is, right? Then there's the rioters, who are, kind of causing a little bit more chaos and just pretty much saying like, fuck, you fucked me over, so I'm fucking you over now. Like, that's a little bit of the rioting, whether that be verbal, whether that be destroying property, whether that be whatever. And then there's looters, who are just like, some of them were kind of angry and just taking it, and then some of them were just taking advantage of the situation. Most of them were taking advantage of the situation, and we're not part of the movement. But again, it's perpetuating what people already think of us. So it's unfortunate, and obviously there's tons of videos where there's people that are non-people of color that are totally looting and totally like covering their face and like doing shit, and the people are like, whoa, and you see videos of people of color being like, stop, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're making us look bad, and it's true, it's totally true. But again, people don't want to see that. Put it in their face, call them out, put it in their face, be like, okay, you can say that, but what do you say to this video? Now what's your reply to this video? And they're like, well, I mean,
I'm just a little bit about, the difference, the not the difference between the three, but how much the looters have affected the people that actually want to protest. I had a friend who organized a protest, right? But because it was taking place in an area where it was a bunch of small businesses, and it was during the prime time where, like, it was getting heavy, looting was happening, all that stuff, in the beginning. And my friend started receiving death threats because of this, because the people business thought that it was not going to be a peaceful protest, even though they said peaceful protest. This is a peaceful protest, but they thought, okay, well, this is just gonna bring people that want to take advantage of the people that are gonna smash buildings, all this stuff. So, and it sucked because, like, they got a lot of support. They got a lot of support, and there was people that would go, but the day before, it was canceled because it's just, I mean, you have people threatening your life, and what are you gonna do at that point?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Huh?
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything, but
it's crazy.
It is crazy out there, and it sucks because there's people out there that want to make a difference, that want to, do their best. They want to put their best foot forward. And people that are taking advantage, like looters, are causing that to not happen. This person just wanted to have a peaceful protest. And because people made an image that because there's a protest, there's going to be looters and there's going to be chaos and there's going to be damage.
Yeah. They're guilty by association in the sense, because it's like, protest
Pretty
equals
much.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, touching base really quick on death threats, that's another reason why I'm like, when it comes to protesting for the most part on larger ones, because it's Pride Month. So one, happy Pride, yay.
Yeah.
But two, there are groups that have publicly said, like there's a group called 4chan,
Oh,
4chan
4chan.
and another group, I can't think of the name, but they specifically said, for the month of Pride, we will be targeting all the LGBT people, and in any way possible, we will single you out, whether it be physically, to harass you, to harm you, to kill you, or electronically, like take over your social media and whatever. Like they're like, we're gonna make fake dating profiles, get on your profiles, and when you do meet up, we'll beat the shit out of it. Like it's people who are blatantly saying,
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to do blank, blank, blank to you if we catch you. So it's just kind of like, it's just, I keep on telling people, like, it's not a safe time for anybody right now in all aspects. Like, it's not a safe time to be a racist white person, because the internet will get you. You will lose your job.
Mhm.
You gonna lose your job. Like, like for real though, like it's gonna happen. And then vice versa. People of color, like I just posted a video yesterday. This guy was dancing in the street across from his house, dancing in the street, and
I heard about that.
arrested, harassed, and everything in front of his house. I was like, this is not, like, it's not safe for anybody. LGBT, people of color, like anybody. It's a very dangerous part in our lives right now.
In
all
history,
aspects.
we're literally experiencing 1918, the Great Depression, and Civil Rights Movement at the same time.
Totally, right?
Like
that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, what blows my mind is that, because you see it happen. People are racist. Their media gets blown up. They find their name. They find where they work, and then their job's like, all right, we're done with them. They're unemployed, and people keep doing it though. They see that people get outed out as racist. They see videos. The video gets sent to their job. They don't work there. Now they're classified as a racist. Everyone knows them. Everyone knows their name, but they're still coming out on the daily of people.
Because there's nothing.
No one learns until it's them. It's the same thing. Like they don't think Corona exists until it affects them.
Yep.
Right. That part. That part.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people think they're invincible, and they might have like lost their job, but they're not being held accountable on it on a daily basis.
Yes.
There's like I don't know, for like some people don't quit smoking until they find out they're gonna die, and then they have that looming thought of, I'm gonna die if I don't quit every single day. Because someone who's called out as a racist, they're not thinking I'm gonna die. It's like, oh, I just lost my job, I'll get another one. Because I forgot where the study was I read, but I might be wrong for those of you guys listening. But most adults after the age of 25, don't change unless they go through a traumatic event. Because by that time they're kind of like set in their ways. Their brains fully, formed. And it's kind of true. Which is why some people continue doing bad habits that don't serve them. Even though they're called out for it.
I think, and I'm not trying to jump on boat with everybody and jump on the anti-train, but when you have people of power, of large power, of people who might, I don't know, run a country, that are backing up everything you're saying, it's kind of like that bratty kid. That kid that throws fits and tantrums, and they're like, somebody should discipline that kid. And the mom's like, no, in my house, we don't discipline our children. And then the kid's just like, yeah, I just fucking did it. That's what's happening. It's like, you're like, somebody get these kids because they're out of control. Like, these little fucking idiots are out of control. And the parents are just like, we let our kid be artistic in any way they want to be.
But,
you're just like, what the hell?
It always starts from the top. Like, and then it trickles down to everything else.
I just wanted to bring up a point of, like, since I've been doing yoga, and she, like, when all this exploded, she kind of took away her classes, and we're really focusing on educating and supporting in as much as we could. But it's also so important that I think people need to fill up their cups. Like, we always talk about love, and, like, you can't love another person unless you are overflowed to, like, give that other person. It's like, we all need each other. Like, no one's safe. there's so much work, there's so much going on. There's like 5 different pandemics happening, and it's like, for me, it's hard. I mean, I go to work, I work 40 some hours. You're dealing with so much, and everyone's going through so much, and it's like, we need to take care of ourselves. You know, we need to dance. We need to still do yoga. Like, of course, like, not like her stopping those classes, like, really affected a lot of people. And she was like, it was needed for like those couple of days, but like, I need to keep that going. And I think it's important that everyone does that. Like, we need to advocate. We need to change. Like, we're doing so much, but don't forget about yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that's getting lost. And I think a lot of people are kind of going a little crazy because of all the information they're getting on the internet. And
right.
It's so important, because I just found myself kind of like, I've never suffer from anxiety or anything like that, but I've been feeling it creep up.
You feel it, right?
Especially at work.
It's just the frequency that's out there right now.
I have never felt that way in my life, and I feel it. So I finally understand, and I was like, wow, I'm not taking care of myself. Even like taking a social media break, like I had to, just because like I needed to for a day. And I just think we need to really take care of ourselves so we can then support everything else that's happening.
100%.
I think
agreed.
Yeah,
I agree as well. And it's like, I think right now, especially because of Corona, in quarantine and BLM and all of the craziness and murder hornets and shit, what the fuck? Like, murder hornets, like,
Right.
come on.
Terry.
The whole
just
world
feel
fell apart
like-
when Kobe Bryant passed.
Right? Seriously. But I just feel like we have to take a moment, and not only for ourselves, but like, it sounds really cheesy, but just appreciate shit.
Yeah,
Like,
gratitude.
I'm honestly just like, yo, today's a beautiful day, you know, or like,
Oh,
wow,
thanks, they're beautiful
that
too.
tree looks like really pretty, like when it's all green and shit. Like, it's not, you know, like, I'm just like appreciative of
It's all
everything.
green and
you
shit.
know?
Damn, tree.
Look at it's all
Look at
green
that
and
wo-
shit. It's
look at
got
all that
birds in it.
wood.
It's got
So-
like wildlife in it and shit. But like, no, for real though, like, I just found myself appreciating everything, and like really appreciating music, and then just kind of like sitting there and just like, wow, look how talented this person is, and how this makes me feel a certain way. And like,
Mhm.
we have to go back to, like, my hashtag is always on my social media is aspire to inspire. Like, right now, a lot of our lights are being dimmed, like you're saying, because of anxiety and watching these videos. I am not an emotional person, but let me tell you, in the past couple months, I have cried so many times, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I hate being like emotional, but
I know you do. You call me, you'd be like, fucking little bitch. Let's go.
yeah, seriously, I'm just like, what a little bitch, get over it. But like, these videos now, I'm just like, it hurts me in a different way, and I think that's why, because I've mastered ways to not feel for certain things. But when it comes to like seeing families or like kids deal with these things,
Jesus Christ.
like, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it kills me, you know? And I'm just like, we gotta inspire each other in other ways, and like show love, and that since we can't physically touch each other, like show affection and love in other ways that people feel connected to something, to someone, to a community, something.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it's a lot of information. If you legit spend a whole ass day just dedicating yourself to just understanding what has gone on in the past, it is a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, you know, you don't got to spend your whole day doing it. You know, you can take those breaks, because I mean, it sucks. And I had a talk with John about this, you know, because this is like, a lot of us were not taught this stuff. You know, obviously we weren't taught this stuff, because we would have known this if we were taught this in school. So now we're going out learning it, right? And it's a lot, yo. The first time I spent hours and hours and hours just watching documentaries, reading articles, looking up stuff, you know, figuring out what else to look up, looking up books, stuff like that. And man, it's a lot. And I was like, let me take a break, because just scrolling through Instagram, the thing with scrolling through Instagram is frustrating, because so much stuff is happening, and you keep the main thing I keep is why. How do people keep getting away with this shit? And it's frustrating, and I want to take a break, and I want to let me just relax for a bit. But then I'm like, stop being a bitch, dog. They've been oppressed for 400 plus years. You've been scrolling for like,
Right.
Damn, that's an interesting way of putting it.
yeah, it's like scrolling Instagram for a day. Stop being a bitch. I'm like, nah, you're right. Let's
This is
Let's
self-hate.
go. Let's go.
Well,
But like, that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't. I don't feel like, if you feel like you're being pressured into learning this, you're probably learning it for the wrong reason. If you actually want to learn this,
Mm.
I feel like you would have no reason to take that break, and that's why it's like it's been a little easier to take that break, because it kind of just stopped being like, well, let me be on this to like, let me actually learn about this, because this is wild. The stuff that, like, the more you look into it, like, this is wild. Why have we not been taught as important it is? You know, obviously we know why this wasn't taught. Obviously we know why they didn't want us to know this. You know, you know, it's
a lot of shame in reality, man.
I wanted to take my hat off to you as well for learning and like looking at that shit, because like I said, it's our job to call people out. Like, there was some Latino followers that I have that were posting like, you know, anti BLM. They're just like, no, this is stupid, this is not our fight, you know. You know, all lives matter, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Filipinos were like that too.
Right. So then I posted a little article,
Filipinos.
and the article was like about how when the slaves ran away from the colonists, a lot of them ran to Mexico, and Mexico took them. And when the colonists came to find the slaves, they were just like, no, there's no slaves here. And they're like, oh, well, we're gonna send bounty hunters if you don't give them to us. And they sent the bounty hunters, and the Mexicans killed them. They killed the bounty hunters and said, all we have here are Afro-Mexican residents. And that's how there's black people in Mexico. Like, so, or darker skin. Yeah, like that. So that's just how that culture started. But I'm like, it started with us protecting, and like, you know, like there's a lot of other history things, but like, I get it. It's not your fault. You're uneducated because it's not taught to us. But as an adult, now is the time.
With the power of all the information right here.
Hey, I forgot who said it, but the smartphone is only as smart as its user.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, tell them.
Whoever said that, hit me up. I don't know. Somebody said that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you for. Look, but going back to a lot of the self-care stuff, what strikes me is the saying, all of man's problems stem from man's inability to sit in a room by himself. Like when quarantine happened, I think a lot of people, for the first time in their lives, had to be with themselves instead of be distracted with the rest of the world is happening. And then now with BLM and all the movements happening, there's so much elements that we don't have control over. It's bringing a lot of the anxiousness that a lot of anxiousness is rising, because that's what kind of happens when we focus on things we don't have control over. So just speaking for myself, what's been helping me with kind of process everything is one is what Brandon said is being grateful, because I'm still able to take care of my family. No one has it. But at the same time, focusing on what I can control over. So like, even though I can't be at the protest, I'm still donating. Temper Tantrums donating to Campaign Zero. So shouts out to all you Temper Tantrum people who are listening right now who donated. So I'm still doing our part. But a lot of it is pointing the fingers at things we don't have control over. And I think a lot of it is people's lack of self-mastery, of like knowing how to handle themselves when they're triggered. Because when people are triggered, people go on the offensive, because and then my favorite thing that I'd like to tell people is like, when you're triggered is that's where the lesson is. Like, it's like, don't expect the world to change because you're triggered. That's the opportunity for you to figure out. That's where your 2020 is quote unquote happening, because there's a storm or yuckiness that's hiding something that needs to be examined, and sometimes you need help. Therapy is a powerful way of doing that. So, and then the more we learn our triggers and we kind of understand these perspectives that get us triggered, I think we can better navigate through these tougher times. Because like I've gotten, I'm a fucking troll on Facebook, so like I've gotten like, I guess, quote unquote invitations to debate people on Facebook, but just for me coming from having to do 52 weeks anger management, 52 weeks domestic violence classes, all these things, I was in the system for a while, for 18 months, and then like knowing how people are when they're triggered. When people are triggered, they're in a high state of mind, and when they're in an intense state of mind, they're not going to listen. Which is why I find like Facebook arguments or arguing in person like pointless, because no one is no longer in a state of mind to listen and understand. More rather, they're in the state of mind to be right, and that always, and no one ever wants to be wrong. I was like, oh no, they did this. Yeah, like, they're both right, but instead of pointing the fingers, like that's where empathy is. Like like that's where empathy comes into play. Like I acknowledge that this happened. I know that I did this, and then, but here's what I'm going to do to be better. People
Yeah.
are too focused on this and being defensive instead of acknowledging, empathizing, and then changing.
But Hillary's emails.
Yeah.
Side note, Emeroy, you were in the system. Are you adopted?
No, not in that system. Like I went to jail.
Okay. I was like, we're about to bond because I'm adopted, and I was like, oh, we're about to bond right now.
Oh, damn! Respect. I don't know. No, I wasn't adopted. I was in the.
I was like, Emeroy.
I was in the court
Did you
system.
become my best friend. Yeah.
I mean, adopting can be a whole nother topic for the next podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's just gonna be the clickbait title. She's adopted, and we just talk about BLM the whole time.
Clickbait.
No, I was in this because I went to jail, but in order to show to the courts that I wasn't a danger to the family, I had to do. For me, the stakes were if I don't do this program, they see me as a danger to Jordan, and I will never be able to see my son. Yeah. So like again, for me that was my, I guess, traumatic experience where change was like looming on me every single day. If I don't do this, if I don't get better, this happens. So and then I think it's made me like as I'm aware that I'm a dick and an asshole and I can be obnoxious.
What?
Yeah, totally.
But I feel
No
like
way.
fuck you
Go
guys.
on.
But what I felt like I lacked before when people called me out was empathy. Like, oh, because I know I have a tendency to sound like a know-it-all, and when people have called me out, my ego would be hurt, and I would have a hard time processing it because I had no tools to deal with it. With all that, it helps. Therapy helps, guys. There's nothing wrong with going. That's what I love about our generation. We love the fact that therapy is a normal thing.
That's true. I remember back in the day, if somebody.
Sorry,
Ever-
sorry guys. I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh no, he left. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember back in the day, like I remember therapy was like a.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dog. Let me tell you some shit my therapist told me.
It's true. Like it's like I don't know, because people would have the thought like if you go to therapy you're broken. Like you can't figure out life on your own. Like, fuck, who the fuck? We were giving instructions to figure out life and how to deal with when life punches us in the face.
Well, forget about even having or needing therapy and being a male person of color. The intersectionality of machismo or the masculinity of like a black guy or like like it has to be. What do you mean you need therapy? Like that's for girls. Are you a girl? You a bitch?
That's for pussies.
You know what I'm saying?
Have a beer.
Right. So it's just there's a lot of intersectionality that we have to address and unpack as we get older. Of like, why do I do that, or why don't I do that, or like certain things that are like in our genetic makeup.
And what I think is happening is the resistance of like the next part of human evolution, which I think is not physical, but the next part of human evolution is the evolution of our thought process, of our mind, of being more self-aware. And oftentimes when we're trying to detox ourselves from the negative, there's a huge pushback. So which is what's happening as a society right now. So I think for me, I believe in the law of averages. Some of all this shit, there's something really good that's going to happen at the end of it.
Oh yeah, totally.
This is the shit I would like see like in the history books. I'm like, damn, like
Like I finally got a good like time in my life where you can talk to your grandkids about 2020.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'm kind of curious on is because I mean I've only experienced this once, where it's like I was reading about something for school, and I was asked, like I forgot who it was, but I was asked like, oh, what are you learning? And I said this, and then I was like, here, screw that history book. Let me tell you how it really went. I'm curious on how history books or history teachers or anybody portraying what happened in 2020 is gonna say how they're gonna say it, or
they're gonna have a section on Karens.
Dude, I hope.
I mean, it's true because I saw a picture of a history book a few years ago, and it was one of my friend's daughters, and it said, oh, and actually, it was a friend of a friend. They posted it. Their daughter was learning, and the history book said, when the slaves wanted a job, the United States gave them jobs.
Wow.
That's what the history book said in school.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's crazy. Like, the history book said that they wanted jobs, and America said, yeah, we got them for you right over here, and we just gave them jobs, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And I was like, so imagine, like you
A
said right
Civil
now,
War was just an argument.
imagine a Karen, writes a fucking history book. She's gonna be like, there was a time that the Democrats made up a thing, and people were not dying. They were just fake corpses in the poll, and like it's gonna be the stupid thing that people are gonna twist.
Yeah, the victors are always the writers of history.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, let's close it up here. Anything you guys, any last words you want to say to the audience?
Resist and persist, y'all.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
How do I follow that? You guys pretty much covered it all.
That's gonna be your shirt right there, and for Temper Tantrum merch. How do I follow that?
How do I follow that? You know when like somebody just does a dope ass round and you're just like, hey, you go in. I'm like, how do I follow that?
I'll wait for the next person, then I'll follow up with that.
Everyone, close this off, and then I'll close this off. One thing I learned during quarantine is, don't be afraid to acknowledge that. Yeah, we all have mistakes, but and we all have a long way to go. But don't be afraid to acknowledge your accomplishments. Alvin, thank you, Alvin. Alvin _ it's Alvin. You can edit that out later. But don't be afraid to actually acknowledge how far you guys have come. Whatever journey you guys are taking. Self-reflection. All right. I don't know, Emeroy.
Yeah, it's good. Still gonna be the constant, but just for the sake of this first episode, excuse me, I'll edit that out. Just be grateful. I think that has been one of the grounding sources for me. So the more you are in a state of gratitude, the more you'll see things to be grateful for.
Yes.
Whatever energy goes, or your focus goes. So if you're focusing on anger, you're focusing on this, you're focusing on the negative stuff, that's all you're gonna see. So I'm just gonna do your best to be grateful and be empathetic. Learn to listen, to understand, not to rebuttal, because that's a first step in becoming empathetic.
And I think a really quick little side note.
This is my last note, Brandon.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go.
No,
Love
what
you.
you're saying on that, like surround, and especially with what's happening right now with BLM and everything, just in general, like surround yourself with people who fit your future, not your past.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, that closes our first podcast, an epic 1 hour and 25 minutes in. The original goal was an hour, but the conversations, we were just so juicy, we had to keep going. So if you guys like
Always
what
juicy. Keep it juicy.
So if you guys like this content, make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might like it. Make sure you give these beautiful people a follow on all their social platforms. The links are going to be in the description. Give them a follow, show them some love, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Throwing Tantrums. You guys have an amazing night, day, week, wherever you guys are listening to us, whenever you're listening to us. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Peace.